Hey guys, so today I just kind of wanted to go over some of the odd things that you will find in my sewing room. I've had a couple of people that has asked me what in the world it was that I was using in some of my pictures and videos, so I thought I'd go over that with you. So one of the first things that you're going to find in my sewing room that's probably not common in most is these clips right here. You'll see me use these a lot in videos. I use these to hold down the fabric. I purchase large rolls of fabric, and sometimes you get a little bit of pullback whenever the roll is on the stand and I don't want to stay still. So this just helps me keep my fabric straight so that my line stays straight. Not saying that always works. Another product that you'll see me use a lot that I have pulled out of my husband's garage or building will be a square. And I have a medium-sized one, but then I also have a drywall version. You see, there you go. This one is my all-time favorite because I can cut a whole strip of fabric, usually without having to second guess myself on if it's straight or not. A lot of the products that we do is cut out and made in large quantities. Therefore, having something that can go all the way across the piece of fabric without having to stop and remeasure and re-guess, or however you want to put that, has been a complete game changer. I've been using this specific one for probably about a year now, and it completely changed the way that I operate on things. Another odd thing that you will see me use, most people will just use a regular like a dripper for wool. However, this right here, huge game changer. I don't have to refill it as often, and this is what I use to make sure that my machine is running good and I don't have any issues with anything gunking up or anything like that. The next item that I use very often is this little metal tray here. It is magnetized. This is what I hold all my bobbin in. I have a bobbin case. I have a drawer that has a bobbin case in it. I still prefer this over anything else. It does hold, I usually hold my empty ones around the edge. Therefore, all of my full ones that I have already rethreaded is on the inside of the bowl. That way I know how many I have whenever it comes down to when I need to redo my bobbin. Because if you're a sewist or you have ever sewn, you know how big of a pain in the butt it is to have to stop in the middle of a project just to rethread all of your bobbin. It's not fun. Another item that you will find in my sewing room will be a box cutter. I have a whole set of these. This just happens to be the one that is in the case, probably because the little one is probably over there in my catch-all green bucket that you will see, which is where 90% of all of my tools stay, simply because it's right there. It's in one bucket. I know exactly where to go to. If somebody needs it, it's right there. A good pair of scissors is always a good one. These are the Ginger, something like that brand. Anyways, these have been my favorite pair of scissors. I've had these, I bought them as a 3-pack, I don't know, probably about a year and a half ago, and they have still been my favorite. I know a lot of people prefer the metal ones. I do not. I prefer the plastic ones. They fit my hands better. They cut really good. The only issue that I've ever had with them is on the Cadora fabric. Cutting it, it will dull the blades, but again, that's with any scissors. That's a pretty tough fabric, so I'm not really concerned about that. Numerous chalk pens. These are my best friend. These all come with replacement chalks that are all different colors. I prefer the white because, again, I normally work with a darker color fabric, but I also have black, orange, pink, green, yellow. There's a whole variety, but again, they last forever. My favorite ones. These two, I dropped these a lot. These two have been the ones that have held up the best without breaking the chalk inside of them. I think I got these off Amazon. It was a 2-pack and it came with refills. It's great. Another item would be my tweezers, and these help me get any fabrics that jam up in the machine on the bottom in the feeding, anything like that. They're very small, so they're able to get in there really well. I think these came with an embroidery scissor cutting kit that I got, I think. They don't have a name on them. Paper clips. Jumbo paper clips. Love jumbo paper clips. A lot of the times I still have like a 5-6 inch remnant of fabric left on the end whenever I'm cutting a strip. I'm able to take all of those at once, and I'm just able to clip them all together, and then I will write on the back side of the fabric what the sizes of the fabric and how many pieces is there. I tend to do that a lot, especially whenever I've had a really big order going out. I do save all of those fabrics simply because you never know when you're going to need them for another project. You just simply never know. The other item that is most important to me would have to be my index cards. This is kind of like a cheat sheet for me. Any product that I've ever made will be in this right here. And the reason being is because at first when I started out making products, I was like, oh, I don't need to write that down. I'll remember it. You're not going to remember it. Don't ever trust yourself to remember it. Write it down. So now I have a book that has any project that I've ever done inside of this book, whether it's been just one piece of a product or whether it's been multiples like the 10-inch skillets or the pillows that I make, 8-inch skillet bags, all of those. They're in this book right here. This right here is like my life whenever it comes to making bags. The other one that has been a lifesaver to me is this sewing roller here. As you can tell, it is very well used. I do believe that I bought this as a kit. I think it came in like a teddy bear kit or something that I had bought, because at one point in time I was going to make teddy bears. And then I started making bags, and I found out that that round edge there is perfect for an 8-inch and a 10-inch bag. So it has worked out perfect. So not only do I use this for 8 or 10-inch bags, I also use it for like the Credora sleeves that I make for the fast pack grills and the oven. So, I mean, lifesaver. It has multiple uses, and then I can also use it for a straight line if I needed to, or I can somewhat make measurements off of it. However, they are faded some. Last but not least would be my rotary cutter that Ty got me and the boys got me for my birthday one year, I think it was. This thing does really well with the Credora fabric. I do not suggest it for a very thin fabric. And the only reason why I say that is because it tends to get stuck in the blade back here. That could also just be user error of me just trying to push it through to get it on out. But yeah, I've only charged this maybe like 3 or 4 times in the year that I've had it. Actually, I think it's actually been over 2 years. Anyways, I've only charged it a couple of times. It does have the light on it. It also tells me the battery level on it. It also changes the speed. So you have Eco, which is slow, regular, which is, you know, just the regular cut. And then you have Max, which obviously Max it goes pretty fast. I have not cut myself on this yet. I'm sure that if I had it up on Max, I probably would, because you can ask my husband, I'm very accident prone. If it's going to happen, it's going to happen to me. Other than that, the only other thing I would say that is most important that I use in my sewing room, I obviously use my kitchen table. This is my dining room. slash sewing room. It's more of a sewing room than it is a dining room anymore. I do use my kitchen table as my cutting table. I do have a very large mat that Ty and the boys got me for Christmas probably 4 or 5 years ago. And that is just laid on my kitchen table. Again, that's why I also use these clips, because I'm able to take these clips and I'm able to clip them on the edge of the table, and that's going to hold my fabric in place. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. I hope that's answered some questions that anybody has had about what in the world I'm using a square for in my kitchen or my dining room. Anyways, hope you enjoyed. If you like it, stick around for more. Hopefully I will be getting some more videos out soon. Thanks.